So today we're on the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II with intelligent auto mode, and I'm using the Comica Venmo Q. It's been a long time since I had to EQ audio, so hopefully this turns out good. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is hooking up some new stuff around the office, as well as unboxing a few things and everything for the chill office vlog. So I just want y'all to relax, enjoy the video and everything. Let me know how you guys ended up liking the video. Let's go ahead and unbox this stuff and get some office job stuff done. So I got a haul today. This is going to be the 11 to 18 millimeter lens, the f2.8 from a company brand that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but this is particularly for the Sony E-mount APS-C line of cameras. Again, the constant aperture of f2.8 from 11 to 18. There are other lenses out there, but they're more expensive. This one was around $400 if I remember correctly. All the other competing lenses are way more expensive than this. I do plan on picking up the Sigma, I would say 18 to 50 2.8 in the future, but this one's gonna have a decent, I would say, range. I swap it out for the Yongnuo 11 millimeter f1.8 here. I'm trying to find a minimum focus distance for this lens, and just testing some things out, but overall I like the lens. With that being said, we moving over to a rapid trigger keyboard that I did a review on. After doing that review, somebody recommended the Gateron magnetic jade switches to see if the keyboard improves in performance. Spoiler alert, it did not, but I'll leave the review down in the description. And I just swapped out the switches for the Wooting 60HE and improved that keyboard because that's my main. Right now, I just picked up something for our new car. I got a 2020 RAV4. And this is just a security, I would say, dash cam. It's the world's first 4-way dash cam. So it does a 360 degree of watching your car. Obviously, I have a son now, and we've had car break-ins before around my neighborhood. So again, just trying to do some little security for my family. And it's very important. I'll have it linked in the description if anybody's interested in it, but just know, since it's the world first and this company is a reputable company, it is rather expensive. Next up is something that I really should have had for my car, my older car, but now we have it for the new car, and this comes highly recommended. This one is around 50 bucks on Amazon. It comes highly rated, and it is something that inflates your tires if you are getting low, but it also has like a built-in flashlight with an SOS mode as well, like Morse code thing built in. And it's USB capable of like recharging. It's pretty fast, and on top of that, it has the car outlet to charge it as well, and it has like different mounting things for, you know, sticking the hose into your tire to be able to inflate it again. And it's pretty big, and you can set your own tire pressure recommendation for your car. When you look it up and see what it recommends, you can set it, and then it will fill it up to that recommendation as far as the tire pressure goes. It's pretty cool. I do end up using it from time to time just because of the winter season, but other than that, it hasn't failed me yet. It's a fantastic little device, especially just throwing it in your car and always having one just in case something happens. And it's better than anything you're going to pick up from I would say an auto store or a Walmart or something like that. And again, I'll have it linked in the description if you are interested in it. Next up, I got some replacement earmuffs for the Arctis 7 wireless. I think it comes with a little dongle. It's a super old model that my brother gave it to me years ago to replace a hardwired headset that I had, and he had got some new I would say wireless headset, so he sent it to me. And after a few years, obviously the earmuffs, you know, kind of worn down, so I went ahead and ordered some replacements. They're fairly cheap, like 10 bucks or something like that on Amazon, from a knockoff company again, but they've been working fine. I normally use this headset while I'm watching YouTube in my bedroom or anime or something like that, while my son and wife watch something else, because I'm just not into regular, I would say, movies and TV shows. I'm either watching anime or YouTube, and that's it. Just because of my taste, I just don't really like, I would say, IRL movies or TV shows. That's just me. So I needed obviously to replace it, and because of the battery life on these things, they're the best, I would say, choice for me to use, because I can just do a aux in from my TV to the wireless dongle and then just get no latency straight in. These things were pretty difficult to get on the headphones themselves, but overall they're good. This one, is like not the soft mesh one or wherever that I got. Around the ear cups, they're kind of like this faux leather, but they do have, you know, some softness to them. They do get a little bit hot wearing them, so I kind of wish I did go with the air mesh ones that are very similar to the stock ones that come on the headset. I do like these because they're pretty thick. I haven't had them break down over time. That's one thing I was worried about, that they would see some cracking and maybe the stuffing and all that stuff that's in your cup actually come out. But I've had it now since I've done this video for a few months and have had no issues or problems with the actual earmuffs. So other than trying to put them on, that's the only downside of switching them out. But again, these are super comfy, even more comfortable than the ones that come on the Steer Series headset. But at the end of the day, I do wish, like I said, I went for the more breathable mesh system instead of just getting this faux leather type of ear cup, in my personal opinion. So next up is the G502X Plus. The Plus just means it has RGB. Of course, I went with that version. I got a refurbished one for around $100. I'm not sure the retail price, but G502 with the button layouts is perfect for me jumping to from editing, surfing the web, and gaming all in one, not having to switch mice or anything like that. And I just like the button layout. I've always used the G502. That's the reason why the first iteration was one of the most popular selling mice. And in my personal opinion, the G502X is not that heavy. I see a lot of people complaining about that for FPS games. I know there's lighter weight mice out there, but in my personal opinion, it fits my needs perfectly. So I'm going to stick with the tried and true. Next up, we're going to be unboxing the Beacon ecosystem. I made a tweet about it. I've talked about these products from Beacon extensively, so I'm not going to bore a newer audience, but just know that all these products are overpriced. But if you can get any of them at a steep discount or reasonably any of them under $200, which most of them are going to be over 200 or be exactly 200, then you're going to have a decent product. Just know that most of these just feel really cheap and lightweight, and you just don't feel like you're paying a premium, even though they're charging a premium. But overall, the functionality of them is decent. I just wish that there was more here for the price that they're charging, essentially. But I'm using the Beacon mic right now to do this voiceover, and the audio is being brought over by the Beacon Studio into my actual editing rig / gaming rig. So again, it's getting the job done, but for $250, $279 for the microphone, and then $200 for the Beacon Mix Create, the ecosystem is okay, but it just does not feel like a $200 and something ecosystem. And then if you add all the products up, the price is ridiculous. So next up, we have a little bit of gaming section. I lost the footage from me putting the switches into this keyboard that I did on live stream. I recorded it and I just can't find it. And so I'm just going to use the B-roll right here. I was going to do a updated video about my thoughts and opinions of this keyboard after I swapped out the switches and swapped out the keycaps to see if I ended up liking the keyboard even more. It did improve the overall feel of the keyboard as far as its responsiveness, but it still falls short in comparison to the Wooting 60HE. I'm still thinking of picking up a different keyboard than the Wooting 80HE because I found a keyboard that has the absolute layout that I love when it comes to keyboards. So expect that review in the future when I can get my hands on that keyboard. It's relatively new. I'm still waiting for it to populate on Amazon instead of going straight through the company's website because I just rather purchase stuff on Amazon. But essentially, this keyboard did get improvement, like I said, with the Jade switches from Gateron, but in my personal opinion, like I said, the responsiveness just falls short. It didn't have rapid tappy or snappy tappy or whatever it's called for the quick response of I would say counter strafing or strafing period. And then on top of that, the keys like combos that you can do on the Wooting 60HE just they don't have all the quality of life changes that a lot of people are looking for in a rapid trigger keyboard. So it just falls short. I have had comments on that previous video of this keyboard saying that they updated the software and now they have those features. I did go back and look and try to download a firmware update and try to re-download the software to see if I can unlock those, I would say, changes, but I did not see them pop up. So maybe they're talking about another keyboard because they have several rapid trigger keyboards. And I just don't feel like going with the company anymore because, like I said, the PCB or whatever the connectivity between the switches, the PCB and connecting to your computer, like I said, they're just missing those quality of life stuff that other rapid trigger keyboards have, even at this price point being under $100. So I just unless you don't want all that stuff and you just care about like somewhat of a responsive keyboard, then of course you can go with this keyboard, just swap out the switches to something way better and you'll have a decent one, especially since it has an aluminum case and it feels premium way more than I would even say the Booting 60HE, just plastic case. It feels like it's over $100 for this keyboard. So they did right there. It's just the switches and like I said, the kind of latency with the PCB or wherever. There are going to be better keyboards out there, but for this price point, it's serviceable in my personal opinion, as long as you can pick up better switches. All right, so this is going to be kind of rough. This is just a typical day for me trying to figure out what I want for the backdrop for a top-down unboxing portion. Usually I try to record it before I do my review. Anytime I get a new package in, I just try to record it, and then later on I will include it in my editing process. But right now I'm just trying to figure out the lighting and scenario and everything and seeing how everything looks. I've changed up this YouTube studio desk so much over the past year, and I think I need to do an updated video on how I record things. I'm still using that, I would say top-down Magic Arm system, I guess you can call it, from Newer. I'll leave it linked in the description. It's a fantastic arm system. I've had other people pick it up before and come to the live stream and tell me, shout out to Jack. But this thing is fantastic. For what it is. It's just the current scenario that I had for this video trying to do this, it just never really turned out to look as good as I wanted it to. That's why I've changed it up so much, and I've gotten to the point to where I think I like the way the stuff looks now. It's a cable mess. We'll get to that later in the video, but right now, just for what it is and for this video, it did the job. It's just I didn't like the lighting, and there's some things that I just needed to, you know, change, and I finally sat down and did it after recording like 2 more product reviews after this one, and I just wasn't liking the quality of my footage and the quality of my videos, so I wanted to improve it. So that's why I sat down and did it one day. But yeah, just checking for reference off the 2 monitors I have, the one in front of me right there, and obviously how it's looking in OBS, to make sure that everything is situated good, making sure that I'm adjusting my lighting accordingly and just trying to get the best as I can. My top-down camera is actually the Sony ZV-1 Mark I, the point and shoot one. It's perfect for this angle and it's perfect for what it does, especially being lightweight, being attached to the system with a Magic Arm that's included inside the overhead rig system. And then the Sony ZV-E10 Mark I right there for my talking head videos. I actually just recently today went to FedEx and shipped it out with the Alpha 6100 that is over there at my streaming desk, in order to hopefully pick up the Alpha 6700, because that is going to be my main camera for shooting pictures and b-roll and just any other things that I need, traveling, all that stuff, because it has IBIS and I have enough lens. So I want to start picking up clients and doing photos for them. So I'm just going to hopefully be able to pick up that camera and do a lot more with it. Right now, like I said, I'm just testing different lighting scenarios, seeing how to light this space, because the top down is just not looking right. And like I said, I recently just took all those lights off and redid the whole rig. So it turned out good, but this is what happens when you have mental issues and you sit there for hours trying to nail something down and you still fell at it. It's something that hopefully other people can resonate with. So yeah, just trying to figure out how I'm going to do this unboxing. I'm making it more complicated than what it is. So here is the part where we start doing the cable management. But first, I wanted to switch my backdrop up a little bit. This is a pretty cool 5-piece backdrop that I found, which turns into about 10 backdrops, because they're double-sided with 2 different types of backdrops. Usually, like, they're very similar to each other, but they're drastically a little bit more different to be able to get whatever type of backdrop that you want for top downs or just anything in general. So I picked this up. It was fairly, I would say, reasonable priced. I'll leave it linked in the description. It's great for, like I said, top down or maybe some product photography or something like that. If you have a way to stick it up against a wall, or like maybe you have something else to be on the table. These are really, really nice. I recommend these highly. But if you need more designs, then obviously you can go with another company, but I feel like this is good enough for what I do for unboxings. And if anything, I can always fall back to just use the actual wood top from the Husky workbench that I have as my YouTube studio desk. So these are fairly, I would say, decent. Like I said, the Sony ZV-1 at its widest angle can perfectly see every single inch of that and more, even like the sides of the actual desk. So I do need to zoom it in a little bit. I was trying this with the Alpha 6100 with the kit lens, and I just ended up not liking it. So I did swap it back, because you can see the Sony ZV-1 is my current stream camera at this point in time in my adventure. So I just use some painter's tape on each side. Yeah, I don't need a full length one. I could have smaller ones, but I just like it being taped all the way across the desk to make sure that it's going to stay in place depending on what kind of box I put on it. And after this little bit, we're going to get into some cable management, because it's really needed in this office. But unfortunately, the cable management got messed up because I brought in my streaming PC that I gave to my wife since she was no longer using it. So now the cable management is pretty much all undone. You can imagine having two PCs over one. So eventually in the future, I'm gonna have to redo everything that I just did. But I am waiting to get a dual PC like stand to have one PC on top of the other and have it in the corner behind that softbox that you can see, because that corner is just not being used because of the shapes of the desk and I can't get back there. So the best thing to do is put the PCs back there to use that unused space to maximize the space of the office, and just to get everything, I would say, up and running. And yeah, just making sure everything is aligned, making sure everything is good for the top down right now. And then we're going to jump into some cable management, because like I said, we really need it. So before we get into the cable management, I found this clip of me showing the camera these shoes that I recently picked up off of just a cheap store on the web, but they have plush in lining inside, which keeps your feet warm during, I would say, the winter. And these are really good. I don't have to wear thermal socks to keep my feet warm. The shoes do feel fairly cheap or wherever, so I wouldn't do any like rough housing in them or anything like that, but they keep the feet warm to get the job done. And now I'm just clearing the space to be able to move my desk, because both of these Husky workbenches, they come with wheel attachments that you can put on the bottom, which I really like, so you can wheel it around and get behind your desk if you need to. That's one of the plus of these types of desks, and I'm just going to move it out the way to get behind there to be able to cable manage, because like I said, it really needs to be done. And just being able to do this, all of them right now are tethered to one PC. So it's going to be somewhat delicate process to make sure I don't stretch any cables unnecessarily, but we'll get the job done with the cable management. And here I'm just going to show a little clip of me using the Roubaix Magic Arm. It's still sitting there to this day with the newer CB100C with the Cellin's 26-inch softbox attached to my YouTube studio desk. It allows me to lower the softbox a little bit more to get it into a better position than having the lights on top of the poles for the top-down rig from Newer, because essentially in the advertising they say use those panel lights like you see over there on my streaming desk, but those lights are not as flattering as an actual softbox with a bigger light source. So that's why I do that. And now you can see the cable management like back there. It's not in the best spot, I would say, as far as just the overall look. So hopefully we can straighten this up just a little bit more. I do wish there was a built-in cable management somehow with this overhead rig, but we can do a lot better. So we'll try to go ahead and do that within this space, and just hopefully it will turn out great. And just you try to use some cable ties, some Velcro stuff. You can see it just does not look good at all. Yeah, Squid, what did you do? What did you do? So here I'm just going to use one of the cool features of the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, and that's just using the time lapse that's built into it. And yeah, it's just really great that this camera has this feature, and that's another reason why I want to get the Alpha 6700, because both of them have this capability, so I don't lose out on that when I upgrade. And hopefully, you know, I can continue to make good content and really use this feature now that the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II is going to be my main talking head video camera. I'd still want that time lapse capability. So as we wrap up the cable management for the YouTube Studio Desk, I do want to go ahead and say that I did not record a close-up of the YouTube Studio Desk cable management being done, so you're gonna have to deal with this. But just know it's all back to how it used to look. But again, you just have one sleeve of cables going to the streaming desk and the power cord from the actual YouTube Studio Desk going down to the wall outlet just right behind it. And now let's go over to the streaming desk and show it some love because it needs it too. So as we wrap up the cable management for the streaming desk, the cable that's coming straight down the middle is actually the surge protector that powers everything that's in the cable management system. It's coming straight down. I haven't figured out a way to attach it to the leg on the left to go down to the wall. And then the cables that are hanging on the floor right there in front of the desk, one is for the G502 that I used to use. One is for the headset that I'm currently wearing. And the last one is for the smartwatch that I use to recharge it while I'm streaming. So trust me when I say the cables are taken care of. So for this past holiday season, we decided to put up the Christmas tree and let my son see the Christmas tree and open up some presents, maybe take some photos of him and stuff. He is still being a almost 2-year-old now. He'll be 2 in February. And he just enjoyed seeing the camera, and he was a little bit apprehensive to figure out like what presents are and what he was supposed to do. So we try to walk through it and kind of teach him and stuff, because we figured that he's starting to be at that age where we can start having those Christmas moments. So hopefully you guys had a great holiday season. And I know I used to show my son a little bit and used to show my wife a little bit, but I kind of want to bring that kind of back and just show, I guess, a day in a life kind of with me, and just kind of making this, I would say, somewhat of a time capsule for my son. So maybe if YouTube is still around when he's older, he can look back and see, something that I did. And hopefully, this is well received. I know some people don't like seeing this kind of stuff, and some people don't like posting this kind of stuff, but I do want to be a little bit vulnerable here and just kind of show me behind the scenes and kind of get back to when I used to, at the start of doing product reviews, show me and my family and just talk about certain things. So here is me just being a little awkward and showing you guys the family and just some fun times that we have. Hopefully you guys enjoy.
thank you guys so much for taking the time out your day to watch this cozy office vlog. This is something that I kind of want to get into. Obviously, this is my first time actually attempting something like this, so I'm not sure how good it's going to go over. Some people don't like people talking in the video, some people do talk in the video, so I don't know what is, I would say, the right method to do things, but hopefully they do end up doing a little bit well, because again, I want to do this maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks or something like that, just over time, kind of put it into my content creation. And hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, then consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can consider joining the channel memberships. But I do want to say a special thank you to everybody who's watched the video all the way through. Leave some tips or something like that in the comments down below. I'm extremely tired. I'm gonna go get some rest. You can probably tell my eyes are red right now, and my wife literally just texted me and told me to get some rest before I have to take my son to watch him for 12 hours. So that's great. But hopefully, like I said, y'all continue to have a squid-tastic day. Hopefully I can bring more of this stuff in. Let me know if you guys want me talking through the process, or maybe just text on screen. Some people just like that. But yeah, just leave me all the tips you can down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Have a squid-tastic day. God bless you and yours. And deuces, everybody. Good night.